If you've been scrolling through endless options for a professional-grade massage table and still feel stuck wondering which one actually lives up to the hype, this review is here to clear that up. I've spent a good chunk of the past week setting up a few different models in my own treatment room, reading through what other therapists are saying, and weighing the little details that usually get buried under glossy photos. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What you'll hear from me isn't a copy-pasted spec sheet, it's the kind of feedback you'd get after a real-world test drive, plus the bits that matter most when you're deciding whether to invest in a table that will see you and your clients day in, day out. Let's start with the situation most of us have been in. You run a small spa, or maybe you're a freelance therapist who rents space, and you need a table that won't make you hunch over every client or spend half an hour fiddling with manual cranks. At the same time, you don't want to drop a fortune on a piece of equipment that looks great on paper but ends up being a pain to move, or worse, a table that sags under a heavier client. The Master Massage MaxKing Comfort Electric Lift hits a lot of those pain points, but it also comes with a few trade-offs that are worth spelling out before you click Add to Cart. First off, the size. The tabletop measures 30 inches wide by 73 inches long. For most standard body types, that's comfortable enough to let a client stretch out without feeling cramped, and the length gives you a little extra room for face-down work. If you regularly see clients who are on the taller side, you'll appreciate the extra 2 inches of length compared to the 71-inch norm you see on cheaper models. The width is a bit tighter than the 32-inch tables you sometimes find in high-end salons, so if you frequently treat larger clients or want the absolute most surface area for yoga-style stretches, you might feel that limitation. In my testing, a client who was 6'2" could still lie flat without any awkward bends, but the shoulders did edge close to the side rails. Adjustability is where the MaxKing really tries to set itself apart. The electric lift actuator lets you move the surface from 24 inches up to 35 inches with the touch of a foot pedal. No more wrestling with a hand crank or calling a colleague over to help you raise the table after a long day. I found the pedal to be responsive. Press once, the table rises a few inches, press again, it goes higher. It's smooth enough that you can make a quick adjustment between a seated facial and a full-body massage without breaking your flow. The range hits the sweet spot for most therapeutic work, low enough for you to stay ergonomic when you're standing, high enough for clients who need a more accessible entry point, like seniors or anyone with limited mobility. The frame is a heavy-duty steel construction, and you can feel that solidity the moment you push down on the surface. It doesn't wobble, and the 4 lockable casters give you a little mobility during setup, but once you lock them, the table feels anchored, exactly what you want in a treatment room where you don't want the whole thing shifting when a client leans. The downside is that the steel frame, combined with the built-in actuator, adds a noticeable weight. If you're renting space and need to move the table between rooms often, you'll still need a couple of people to get it rolling, even with the casters. It's not a nightmare, but it's not a light-as-a-feather portable unit either. Comfort is driven by the 3.5-inch multi-layer small cell foam that sits under a PU upholstery cover. Small cell foam is known for distributing weight evenly, which means less pressure points for the client. The PU cover is marketed as oil and water resistant, and in my Hansen session I actually spilled a little lotion on the surface and wiped it away with a damp cloth. No staining, no sticky residue. That durability matters for a therapist who works with a lot of oils, hot stones, or even hydrotherapy extensions. The foam is firm enough to support a client's spine without sagging, yet soft enough that you don't feel a hard board underneath. I had a client with chronic back pain, and she reported that the table felt just right compared to a thinner, cheaper pad she'd used before. Now, who should really consider the MaxKing? If you're a licensed massage therapist, esthetician, or spa owner who runs a full-time schedule and values ergonomics for yourself, the electric lift alone can save you minutes and back strain every session. The sturdy frame and resistant upholstery also mean you're less likely to need a replacement after a few years of heavy use. The table's dimensions work well in a typical treatment room of about 10 by 12 feet, leaving enough space for a chair, a small cabinet, and the occasional extra.